third week of October 2016. Back in January of this year, a proclamation was made by Caltech researchers that newfound evidence indicates that a giant planet on a bizarre, highly elongated orbit in our solar system actually exists and could be having a profound effect on other planets, including our own. A bombshell article just published by the New York Daily News is reporting that a mysterious on-scene planet could be causing the sun to tilt and adding a significant wobble to the solar system. This announcement was made on October the 19th at a meeting of the American Astronomical Society's Division for Planetary Sciences. This statement would be 9 months to the date when the Caltech researchers initially reported that a massive planet was lurking within our solar system. Now, this is a big deal in terms of whether there exists a planet X, because it further fuels the speculation that something is out there tugging at the planets within our solar system and causing our sun to act in an unpredictable manner. Elizabeth Bailey, the author of this newfound research, has said that this planet is so massive that its orbit is tilted compared to other planets, and therefore the solar system has no choice but to slowly twist out of alignment. While the planets in our solar system orbit the sun in a flat plane, the plane itself rotates at a 6-degree tilt, making it appear that the sun is cocked at an angle. The research indicates that Planet 9 appears to orbit at about 30 degrees off kilter from the other planet's plane, thus throwing off the other planet's orbits with its massive tilt. So if there is in reality a massive planetary presence within the confines of our solar system, as Planet X followers and observers have suggested for many years, why has it taken so long for the media to catch up with the studies and the research that is suddenly being published? That there is credible evidence now to conclude that a massive rogue planet exists in our solar system, which is causing havoc with our planets and with the sun. The answer is quite simple. Members of the elite, who are empowered with the task of controlling the information that is readily available to the public, are caught between a rock and a hard place, a catch-22 in other words, when it comes to declaring a global emergency due to the influential presence of a governing body within the solar system. To do so would be consequential to the global economy and to the financial welfare of all nations. The mission of secrecy makes perfect sense for the few who control the power and wealth, but for the many who are kept in the dark, it is a subject of great consequence. As I have mentioned in past videos, NASA and the scientific community have known about the existence of this massive planetary body since the early 1980s, when they first announced the discovery of this elusive planet lurking in the outer reaches of our solar system. The announcement of their discovery was made in January of 1983, which is 33 years ago. One can only surmise that this planet, which is actually part of a binary system of planets, has traveled many millions of miles across the solar system since 1983, which today would bring it much closer to the planets of the inner solar system, depending upon its actual trajectory. In December of 1983, the Washington Post concurred with the New York Times that something larger than Jupiter is lurking out there. Apparently, the announcement of the discovery was unintentional, as the policy today is to remain silent. They have had 33 years to make a public statement about this discovery, but you must remember that they are under a gag order to the National Security Agency, They all signed a non-disclosure agreement, which means they either remain silent about this or jeopardize their careers and their reputations. So what are they observing that gives credence to the existence of a giant rogue planet in our solar system? Let's consider the astronomical events taking place right now. Recent solar sunspot activity is the highest it has been in over 8,000 years. According to the study's findings, sunspot activity has been more intense and lasted longer during the past 60 to 70 years than at any time in more than 8 millennia. The long-term increase in solar irradiance is heating both Earth and Mars. The head of space research at St. Petersburg's Pokova Astronomical Observatory in Russia says the Mars data is evidence that the current global warming on Earth is being caused by changes in the sun. A 300% increase in galactic dust entering our solar system. Every year, about 40,000 tons of cosmic debris fall onto the Earth, much of it creating meteors. Some researchers have suggested recently that high dust inputs into the Earth's atmosphere, sustained for centuries or longer, could be responsible for ice ages and mass extinctions. According to the Keck Observatory in Hawaii, the once placid planet of Uranus is experiencing intense cloud activity, storms, and auroras. Venus and Mars are also seeing significant atmospheric changes taking place, where, for example, Mars is experiencing the formation of clouds and an ozone layer. Internal studies conducted by NASA since 1983 only lead to one conclusion: that they are aware of a large planetary body approaching from the direction of the South Pole. And because it is coming our way from south of the ecliptic and visible only in the infrared spectrum, amateur astronomers are unable to track its movement. Now, we do know that under the right atmospheric conditions and the right locations, it can be seen by random chance. And that is why smartphone cameras and video webcams have been able to capture its presence in a particular light spectrum. So there is the scientific perspective that would suggest the presence of a mysterious heavenly body, but there is also a religious perspective to what is happening these days. Some of you question, why should I bring up religion into a discussion based mainly on scientific research and data? Well, I don't carry religion on my shoulders, and I don't claim to be the most knowledgeable person with respect to theology, but I do know a thing or two about the teachings of the Bible. As a former church missionary, I became quite acquainted with the Scriptures. The words that are contained within its teachings are a testament of both nature and time. The Scriptures, as we know, have been interpreted by man over many centuries. But if you follow the words of Revelation, you begin to understand what the sixth seal and the wrath of God has in common with the future presence of a Planet X. The 6th chapter of Revelations best describes what will come upon the earth in the latter days. If you read this passage, you will notice that the following events will occur. There will be a great earthquake. The sun will become dark, and the moon will turn to blood. What could cause these three major events to happen in sequence as it relates to future events? Is it possible that a massive planet such as a planet X may indeed be the cause of the blackening of the sun and the turning of the moon to blood? Certainly, the passage of a massive heavenly body would cause an earthquake, and the reference to stars falling from the skies means meteorites impacting the earth. So we could logically conclude that the Planet X system could be responsible for most of the impact damage that the book of Revelation warns about. So do the words of Scripture and the findings of the scientific community provide a subtle warning regarding a major catastrophe waiting to happen? Certainly major changes are happening to our planet, which we just cannot wrap our finger around because theories abound about the cause of the changes that are taking place. As I have said before, the truth is out there. You just have to know where to look for it. If you spend more time looking at the sky, as well as your earthly surroundings, you will notice just how quickly everything is changing. We live in strange times, but these are also times in which we come to terms with who we are and why we are here. If we succeed in our quest for truth, then we will be better prepared for what lies ahead.